When Gold Rush first aired on the Discovery Channel in 2010, it was pitched as a gritty, unfiltered look into the lives of men chasing the dream of striking it rich in the unforgiving landscapes of Alaska and the Yukon. Viewers were instantly hooked by the rawness of the show, an ensemble of amateur miners facing financial desperation, environmental hazards, interpersonal conflicts, and the age-old allure of gold. What started as a small operation led by Todd Hoffman grew into a sprawling reality franchise involving multiple crews, each with their own narratives, struggles, and ambitions. The central question that has lingered throughout its more than a decade-long run is simple but vital. How real is Gold Rush? For a show so deeply entrenched in the reality TV genre, authenticity is not just a selling point. It's the core of its appeal. Yet the more audiences dig, the more they uncover inconsistencies, staged drama, and production interference, prompting a broader conversation about the nature of reality television and where Gold Rush truly lands on that spectrum. The earliest seasons of Gold Rush introduced viewers to the Hoffman crew, a band of blue-collar workers from Oregon who risked everything to mine gold in Alaska during the economic downturn. The premise was compelling. These weren't seasoned professionals, but regular men hoping to save themselves from financial ruin by striking gold. That underdog narrative was central to the show's emotional hook, and it came with all the ingredients that make for good television: high stakes, looming deadlines, and the unpredictable hand of nature. Yet even in those early episodes, skeptics began to question how genuine the circumstances were. Critics pointed out that the miners appeared ill-prepared for the realities of mining. Equipment would break down regularly, miscalculations were frequent, and disputes were dramatic and conveniently timed. Some believed this was a natural result of amateurs learning a tough trade. Others suspected the guiding hand of producers eager to maintain tension and viewer interest. As the show progressed, certain patterns began to emerge. Each season followed a formula: new claims, new conflicts, a series of near failures, and a climactic end-of-season payday. The repetition led some viewers to believe that the show was more scripted than spontaneous. Allegations surfaced from former crew members and locals in the areas where the show filmed, claiming that scenes were staged or reshot for dramatic effect. One notable accusation was that gold cleanup scenes, where miners reveal the amount of gold recovered, were sometimes exaggerated or edited to appear more lucrative. This, combined with the show's reliance on narration and selective editing, led many to believe that while the mining operations were real, the storytelling was heavily manipulated to fit a predetermined narrative arc. Further scrutiny revealed that some aspects of Gold Rush were less than authentic. For instance, it became clear over time that the crews weren't just self-funded dreamers working alone in the wilderness. In fact, Discovery Channel reportedly provides substantial financial backing, logistical support, and even mining equipment. This revelation changed the perception of the show from a documentary-style depiction of struggling miners to a reality TV production with significant behind-the-scenes influence. Parker Schnabel, one of the breakout stars of the series, acknowledged in interviews that while the mining itself is real, the presence of cameras does affect behavior. He admitted that certain scenes are recreated or reshot for clarity or better storytelling, though he maintained that the outcomes and results are genuine. This admission opened the door for viewers to reconsider how much of what they see is influenced by the needs of television production versus actual mining challenges. Another element that complicates the reality of Gold Rush is the involvement of professional mining experts and consultants. As the seasons progressed and the show gained popularity, the mining operations grew more sophisticated. The introduction of advanced machinery, improved planning, and strategic decisions suggested a level of professionalism inconsistent with the early premise of novice miners winging it in the wilderness. While this evolution is natural and perhaps even necessary for the show's survival, it also moved the narrative away from the raw, underdog struggle that defined its initial appeal. What was once a story of survival became, at times, a high-budget operation backed by both Discovery Channel and mining companies looking to leverage the exposure. Despite these inconsistencies, there is no denying that the mining operations themselves are real. Gold is actually extracted from the ground, and the physical toll on the crew members is evident. Filming in such harsh conditions comes with risks, and several accidents and mechanical failures have occurred on set. The labor is grueling, and the tension among team members, while possibly heightened for dramatic effect, often stems from real pressures. Viewers have witnessed genuine moments of triumph and heartbreak, crews losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, suffering mechanical setbacks, or facing severe weather that threatens their entire season. These elements ground the show in a certain reality that cannot be completely manufactured. Still, the nature of reality television is such that the line between fact and fiction is often blurred. Gold Rush is edited for maximum impact. Conversations are cut and spliced, scenes are rearranged, and conflicts are amplified. Former cast members have spoken out about the way producers encourage drama and sometimes pit team members against each other to maintain a compelling storyline. The result is a show that, while rooted in real events, often presents a heightened version of reality designed to captivate rather than document. This is not unique to Gold Rush. It is a staple of the reality TV industry, but it does influence how viewers should interpret what they see on screen. In recent seasons, the show has expanded to include new crews and locations, including operations in South America and other gold-rich regions. These expansions have added variety and excitement, but also introduced new questions about authenticity. How are these new crews vetted? What level of support do they receive from the network? And how much of their story is being shaped by producers before it even reaches the screen? In one instance, a crew member revealed that local laws and mining permits were arranged in advance by the production team, not the miners themselves. This further undermines the image of rugged independence that the show seeks to portray. Financially, Gold Rush has been a goldmine for Discovery Channel, regularly topping ratings charts and spawning spin-offs like Gold Rush, Whitewater, and Gold Rush, Dave Turin's Lost Mine. With such a profitable brand at stake, it's understandable that the network would want to maintain a level of control over the content. But this commercial incentive also creates a conflict of interest between presenting reality and producing entertainment. The more producers intervene to ensure a compelling narrative, the more the authenticity of the show comes into question. This tension is not lost on viewers, many of whom continue to watch while also expressing skepticism about what they're seeing. Ultimately, the truth about Gold Rush lies somewhere in the middle. It is not a documentary in the purest sense, nor is it entirely fabricated. It is a hybrid of reality and production, where real people engage in real mining operations, but their stories are curated and shaped for television. The emotional beats are often exaggerated, the conflicts strategically placed, and the victories timed to coincide with season finales. Yet the gold is real, the risk is real, and the toll on the miners is genuine. This blend of truth and embellishment is what keeps the show engaging, but also raises ethical questions about how reality is presented to audiences. The cast themselves are a major reason the show continues to resonate. Parker Schnabel, Tony Beats, Fred Lewis, and others have developed strong followings, not just because of their mining prowess, but because of their personalities. These are characters viewers feel they know, even if they are seeing only a curated version of their lives. This emotional connection is powerful, and is one of the reasons why viewers are willing to overlook some of the show's more contrived elements. However, it also places a responsibility on the producers to handle these portrayals with care, ensuring that the individuals involved are not misrepresented or unfairly edited for dramatic effect. One of the more controversial aspects of the show has been its portrayal of conflict. From heated arguments to near physical altercations, Gold Rush often emphasizes tension between crew members. While some of this is undoubtedly real, working in harsh conditions under financial stress is bound to lead to disagreements. There is a sense among critics that the show sometimes manufactures conflict for the sake of drama. Former cast members have suggested that producers encourage confrontations or selectively edit footage to make tensions seem worse than they are. This practice, common in reality television, raises concerns about the psychological toll on participants and the ethical implications of distorting reality for entertainment. As the show continues, the conversation around its authenticity will likely persist. In a media landscape increasingly aware of how reality is constructed, viewers are more skeptical and better informed. Shows like Gold Rush walk a tightrope between authenticity and entertainment, trying to maintain credibility while delivering compelling television. For some fans, the question of how real the show is doesn't matter. It's entertaining, and that's enough. For others, especially those interested in mining or invested in the personal journeys of the cast, the integrity of the narrative is crucial. They want to believe that what they're watching reflects real challenges and triumphs, not a polished version designed to fit a script. In the end, Gold Rush is a product of its time, a blend of documentary and entertainment, fact, and fiction. It reflects the evolving nature of reality television, where authenticity is often sacrificed for narrative coherence and viewer retention. While the miners may dig for gold in the dirt, the producers dig for drama in the edit suite. The show's success speaks to the effectiveness of this formula, but it also underscores the importance of media literacy. As viewers, understanding how reality television is made allows us to appreciate the show for what it is while also recognizing its limitations. Whether you believe every moment or watch with a grain of skepticism, Gold Rush remains a fascinating lens into both the mining world and the mechanics of modern storytelling.